Welcome back to MADMAN Review. Ever heard of this popular anti-gunner by the name David Hogg? He's currently one of the most vocal members of the gun control crowd today and is rather infamous in the pro-2A community. Some call him a hypocrite. Some call him a grifter. A few others say he's a coward, and I personally think, like most young men of this day and age, he's an ambitious idiot. Now, if you don't know David and you're not interested in defending your 2A rights, then feel free not to watch this video. But if you are interested, here's this scoop. This kid, shot to fame amid the chaos of the 2018 gun violence protests in the US, became the poster boy of the anti-2A movement, with his appearances and speeches in marches, protests, and even a headline-grabbing boycott against one of the major news shows. And if you think nobody gives a rat's behind about this guy, think again. He's also landed on Time magazine's 100 Most Influential People list of 2018, co-authored a New York Times bestseller, and he's currently busy using his undeserved popularity by promoting his own pillow company. Yeah, you heard right. The guy's making pillows, because you know how creative anti-2A people can get, right? But today, it's not about the pillows or the protests, it's about this hypocrite's anti-2A moves and how, if left unchecked, young people like him can pose a danger to us all. Now, before we talk about how he got his butt handed to him by a Chinese lady, I'd like to give you guys a bit of a background on Mr. Hogwash. Mr. Hogg first. Background checks. Many people in the 2A community find this guy irritating because of his anti-gun posts on X, specifically because most of his talking points aren't even his own. For example, in one of his tweets, he wrote, "If you're afraid of a background check, you shouldn't be able to buy a gun." That's Michael Bloomberg's favorite argument. So what it sounds like is David Hogg has had quite a bit of backing, including some high-profile support from figures like Michael Bloomberg. He's turned his status as a survivor of a tragic event into a platform, despite the event being a result of a series of failures by the Broward County School Board, the administration at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and the shocking inaction and incompetence of the Broward County Sheriff's Office. Not to mention some critical lapses by the FBI. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis even removed Sheriff Scott Israel from office because of these failings. Yet David Hogg and some of his schoolmates seem to overlook these issues, instead giving a pass to the Sheriff's Office and Deputy Scott Peterson, focusing their criticism on a Smith & Wesson rifle and a small business, Sunrise Tactical, which had to shut down following the shooting. It sounds dumb, doesn't it? The deranged Parkland shooter Nicholas Cruz, an idiot who actually passed a background check, caused all the scaring that Hogg claims deeply affects him to this day. Why continue to push so hard for background checks when the guy who supposedly scared you for life passed a background check? A stuntman by trade. I think Mr. Hogwash might sound dumb in reality, but he's just pulling stunts for clout. In this clip, we see the same David Hogg pulling a similar stunt when he attended the House Judiciary Committee in July of 2022.
The House Judiciary Committee has voted to advance a bill that would ban certain automatic weapons. The ban does not apply to current gun owners, though. The bill would mandate background checks and also prohibit the transfer of high-capacity magazines. The vote follows a series of mass shootings, including the one in Parkland. The committee reportedly listened to audio of the shooting at MSD, along with shots being fired. Parkland survivor David Hogg, he attended that hearing, but was removed after this outburst.
Iterating the points of mass shooters in your manifesto. The shooter at my high school, anti-Semitic, anti-black, and racist. The shooter in El Paso described it as an invasion. Guess what? Those guns are coming from the United States of America. They aren't coming from Mexico. They are not coming from Mexico. You are reiterating the points of a mass shooter, sir. Sir, you are perpetuating this violence.
Interesting, isn't it? This is an anti-gun hearing. The committee voted to advance an anti-gun bill. What's the point of screaming your lungs out? Unless you're just in it for publicity, right? Now, we're going to leave the link to that video in the description in case you want to take a look at it. Oh, and you may as well read through the comments on it. There, you'll see that a lot of people are saying Hogg wasn't even at the Parkland shooting, so when he claimed to be a survivor, he was lying through his teeth. Not a liar? This is everywhere. On YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, oh, you name it. Everyone thinks this poor bastard is a liar. Digging a bit deeper, you see archived blog posts like these, which, funnily enough, are still floating around online even when they've been debunked years ago. It says here, quote, in a not yet released CBS documentary, David Hogg, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas high school student who's become the face of the gun control movement, changes his entire story and admits that he was not at the school during the event. End quote. Here's a video of Hogg claiming to be inside the school during the shooting.
It's not a drill. My sister's not at school. And it's currently...
Hello?
It's 2:52.
Where are you right now?
I heard one gunshot. We thought it was a drill initially, but it's not.
Right.
Hopefully Alex is. At around 2:30, we heard a gunshot in my AP Environmental Science class, and we initially thought it was a drill. And then we heard more gunshots. And that was when we realized this was not a drill. This was life or death. Okay. So it's now 3:13, and we've heard supposedly it's a senior, not confirmed at all. The senior is believed to be named Nick Cruz, but this has not been confirmed. This is the latest information that we have, though. We still believe that the person has been neutralized, but we're still currently on lockdown.
We're on lockdown because there was an active shooting. We thought it was a fire drill and went outside, and then people started running because there were shots. I didn't hear them personally, and then I started running.
So
Once my phone is 30, I'm done recording.
So what's your message?
I really don't think there's anything new to say, but there shouldn't have to be, because if you looked around this closet and saw everyone just hiding together, you would know that this shouldn't be happening anymore, and that it doesn't deserve to happen to anyone, and that no amount of money should make it more easily accessible to get guns. And that was more well articulated in my head.
You want to say anything, Alex?
No.
This is Alex's view. This recording was taken at 9:32, February 14th, 2018. Alex, are you okay with me recording this?
Yes, I am okay with you recording this.
Okay.
I personally have rallied for, gun rights and less control, not necessarily less control, but this experience has definitely changed my viewpoints. I wanted to be a junior NRA member. I wanted to learn how to hunt. I was always fascinated by guns as a young girl, but this experience was so traumatizing to the point where now I can't even fathom the idea of a gun in my house or on my bodice. I did have plans for my 18th birthday to go to Nexus gun range and learn how to shoot. But at this point, I don't even want to be behind a gun. I don't want to be the person behind a bullet because I don't want to be the person to point a bullet at someone. And to have the bullet pointed at me, my school, my classmates, my teachers, my mentors, it's definitely eye-opening to the fact that we need more gun control in our country, because for this to happen and for people to be so neutralized to it. I even texted my sisters shooting at my school, I am safe. They both responded with, OMG, LOL, you're funny. Now that's a problem in society, and it's a bigger problem in America, and it needs to be fixed. And I believe the most definite way to fix it is by changing our laws when it comes to gun ownership.
The fact that this has happened so much, that school shootings have happened so much, to the point that we need drills for them almost as often as fire drills, is unacceptable. I call on the legislators of this country to take action and stop this from happening. Thousands of people have died from gun violence, and it's time to take a stand. Forget the NRA, forget all of your political backing. Take a stance for human lives, for children's lives. All right, so we made it out.
Alright guys, calm down, everything's fine.
FBI. My classroom was actually eerily quiet. It was a lot of people calling their parents, obviously frantically calling their parents, wanting to make sure that they're letting them know that they're okay. But sadly, my sister luckily survived the situation in our newsroom at WMSD TV, but her two best friends died. And it's unbelievable, it's unfathomable to think about. The fact that my sister is calling me at 5 in the morning when I'm out doing interviews when I should be in school is a testament to where this country has come. And the fact that we have to deal with these situations again and again and again is unacceptable. How many children are going to have to die until we actually stand up and say this is not okay? Because we can say that it's not okay, and we can have all these ideas, but without action, these ideas remain ideas, and children die as a result.
And here's the video created by the website that claimed Hogg was lying.
Our first response was, that sounded a lot like a gunshot. And we close the door. We tell our teacher she closes the door, and right after she does that, the fire alarm gets pulled. On the day of the shooting, I got my camera and got on my bike and rode as fast as I could 3 miles from my house to the school to get as much video and get on as many interviews as I could, because I knew that this could not be another mass shooting.
Again, this claim that Hogg is a liar has been debunked. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're a madman. How do you know it's been proven wrong? Simple. I just did a few more Google searches. Heck, if archived blog posts are difficult to find, published posts like this one from PolitiFact.com are effortless to find. It says here, quote, people question how Hogg could be at school when the shooting started and also be riding his bike 3 miles to get his camera. And if Hogg really did leave school, how did he get back onto campus if the area was on lockdown? The timeline presented in this way is a bit confusing, but the blogs didn't try to fairly settle this seeming discrepancy. Here's what happened. Hogg was at the school during the shooting. Hogg shot a video on his cell phone while taking cover in a classroom closet. Sometime after that, he went home. At around 6 p.m., Hogg went back to get interviews, according to Vox. The evening after the shooting, Hogg says he biked up to the school where the media was still camped out. The article says this time he put himself in front of the camera, making his first, but not final, plea for an end to mass shootings, end quote. Milking it for all it's worth. So, is he a survivor or a liar? While I can't vouch for the guy, I wasn't there when the shooting happened. All the blog posts that claimed he was lying are either inactive or showing an error 404. This means they'll back up their claim that the guy wasn't there during the shooting, so he's probably not a liar? But this doesn't change the fact that he's not scared for life. On the contrary, he's even leveraging the Parkland shooting to make a name for himself, pandering all the anti-gunners in America to make a quick buck. Even a fellow survivor of his commented on his pillow company saying it's a grift. Cameron Caskey, a fellow Parkland survivor who, together with Hogg, Emma Gonzalez, and other students, organized the National Anti-Gun Protest March for Our Lives in 2018, blasted Hogg's new company as a grift and a cash grab in a series of tweets. To those of you who marched, donated, lobbied, and called for change, I'm so sorry this is what it turned into. This is embarrassing, Caskey wrote, but welcome to America. Everything ends up a grift. Yeah, it goes to show just how genuine these people are, and to think this Hogg is going to run for Congress in the foreseeable future. Political ambitions. Check out this blog post from the Penn State's website. If you're too lazy to read, let me just summarize it for you. It says there that David Hogg, along with several fellow survivors of the Parkland shooting, launched a movement called March for Lives, aimed at curbing, quote, gun violence. The goal of the movement is to rally young people to vote anti-gun Democrats and to encourage them to push for legislative change by entering the political arena themselves. Hogg wants youth to go the distance, encouraging his peers to run for office. Remember Maxwell Frost, the first Gen Z member of Congress? The guy's campaign manager, Kevin Latta co-founded the Leaders We Deserve movement with Mr. Hogwash here. This group of woke anti-2A youngsters is packed with left-leaning activists aiming to get into politics, with their sights set on taking down the Second Amendment. It's sad how everything's turning out for us 2A advocates, huh? A silver lining. Good thing, like all anti-gunners, David Hogg's ignorance when it comes to guns might provide an opportunity for us 2A supporters to turn the tide. Come to think of it, Hogg's last name fits him nicely in a lot of different ways. Beside all his hogwash, he's also an attention hog. A recent thread he started on X shows how much of an ignoramus he is when it comes to guns. He shared a tweet bragging about his shooting skills and arrogantly claiming that 30-round mags are not necessary. He wrote, quote, "I know many who follow me haven't shot guns or semi-automatic rifles before. Even with zero training, I can shoot a pretty tight grouping at 20 yards. Just look. You don't need 30-round mags. If you can't stop whatever you need to with 10 7.62 rounds, you got bigger problems." End quote. Now, of course, members of the pro-2A community replied, pointing out all of Hogg's hogwash, including the presence of bullet holes from the different calibers on his target. Besides, Hogg's lack of knowledge and the unpredictable nature of defensive situations make his arguments about magazine capacity and stopping power irrelevant. The gun control crowd has been gaining ground over the years, pushing for tighter gun laws as a way to tackle gun violence. Both Republicans and Democrats have backed legislation that clamps down on gun rights. What's more, polls often show that a lot of Americans are actually in favor of stricter gun laws. But for those of us who really know our way around firearms and understand the Second Amendment debate, it's pretty clear that many high-profile anti-gun advocates, like David Hogg, just don't have a solid grasp on the details of firearms or self-defense situations. Honestly, it seems like most of these folks don't really know what they're talking about when it comes to guns, the Constitution, or how to protect themselves. Enter Lily Tang Williams. In a gun control debate between David Hogg and known 2A advocate Jeremy Spike Cohen, held at Dartmouth College last April 11th, an attendee approached the audience microphone during the question and answer period of the event. Now, it's important to note that this person wasn't just some random pro-2A advocate, and even though she's quite old, she's not a FUD. Not that I'm saying old people are mostly FUDs, but most FUDs are old people, so I don't know. Sorry, but not sorry, Gramps. Going back, that attendee's name is Lily Tang Williams, and she's a New Hampshire congressional candidate. She began by welcoming the audience to her live free or die state. She introduced herself as a Chinese immigrant who had survived the oppressive regime of communism in China. Williams recounted the tragic history under Mao, noting that 40 million people starved to death and another 20 million were murdered during the Cultural Revolution after being sold the idea of communism. She then directed a pointed question at David Hogg, challenging him on the potential for government tyranny. Can you guarantee me, a gun owner, that our government in the U.S., in D.C., will never become tyrannical? She asked Hogg poignantly. Hogg responded, admitting, "There's no way I can ever guarantee that any government will not be tyrannical." Williams concluded decisively, "Well, then the debate on gun control is over because I will never give up my guns. Never, never. And you should go to China to see how gun control works for the dictatorship of the CCP."
Williams, and welcome to my live free or die state. Actually, I am a Chinese immigrant who survived communism. And under Mao, 40 million people were starving to death after he sold communism to them, and 20 million people died, murdered during his Cultural Revolution. So my question to you, David, is that can you guarantee me, a gun owner tonight, our government in the US, in DC, will never become a tyrannical government? Can you guarantee that to me?
There's no way I can ever guarantee that any government will not be tyrannical.
Well, then the debate on gun control is over because I will never give up my guns. Never, never. And you should go to China to see how gun control works for dictatorship of CCP.
And that's all I have for you in this video. If this video is entertaining, please help our channel grow by clicking on the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Hit that bell icon too for more. Thanks for watching.